The poem goes like this. पूछ पूछ कर उकता दिया, पूछ पूछ कर उकता दिया, कौन हो तुम करते क्या हो? पूछ पूछ कर उकता दिया, कौन हो तुम करते क्या हो? आखिरकार हमने भी खोल दी राज, आखिरकार हमने भी खोल दी राज। वैसे तो एक ठहरी हुई शमा है हम किसी पीर के मजार का, वैसे तो एक ठहरी हुई शमा है हम किसी पीर के मजार का, मगर कहीं दामन न जला बैठना, क्योंकि रोज नए शोले बनाते हैं।
Ramesh sir, last year in 2020, we were experiencing pandemic. We are still in pandemic, we are experiencing pandemic in 2021. But the worst part was in 2020.
Yeah.
So how it has challenged you as an artist, as a human being? Has it changed your outlook towards life, towards art? How you survived that pandemic?
Yeah. Surviving pandemic is kind of very individual thing.
Right.
Political understanding of survival is physical survival.
Okay.
Political understanding in the sense the polity which is state polity, I'm talking,
Right.
not individual politics.
Right.
So far, individual politics is not yet living today. It has been crushed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say politics, then I will talk, which should be meant that the politics which is governing today.
Right. Has it impacted your life last year? Has it changed your outlook toward life? Even your outlook towards art?
The pandemic.
The pandemic.
Yes, pandemic actually is dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
of course,
Right.
but still, see, the danger comes to us to teach.
Mm-hmm.
The danger comes to us to teach actually, and
Yep.
also it's a reality check.
So have you faced any kind of life-threatening episode in your life?
Yeah,
Have you faced
yes,
life and death situation?
I did face.
Mm-hmm.
It was part and parcel of the various accidents I had in my life,
Mm-hmm.
the roadside accidents.
Okay. So has it been recently, when you were a teacher, you faced anything like that?
Yes, I faced it when I was drowning in water. During the 2009 study tour.
Okay. From the college, you went to the
We
study tour.
went from the college.
Right.
and I was just standing by the riverlet
Okay.
at Hampi,
Okay.
and I don't know how I fell down. I
Mhm.
never know how to swim,
Mm-hmm.
and it was 3-4 trials that I made.
Mm-hmm.
But the last trial, that water came this much, till nose,
Okay.
till my nose.
Uh-huh.
Then, but just before the thought would come that I will die.
Okay.
Okay, I actually lived that.
That was near-death experience.
That was near-death experience. The very moment when you are going to be no more. Okay, then that particular time is not a second; it is the era. It is the era. Same like the pandemic.
Okay.
You know, the panic situation people come across, and you know, when you are facing death together, then there are a lot of suggestions
Mm-hmm.
that this is that, like this, death is like this, death is like that.
Mhm.
But when you are alone,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when you are alone and death has come to you,
Mm-hmm.
uh, with a leisure, you can say leisure time,
Mm-hmm.
then you have full time to experience it, na? The same lived experience.
Right.
So in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
the very feel that I will be no more,
Mm-hmm.
my constant haunting, what is abstraction, was actually blasted. In a way,
Mm-hmm.
that my skill-oriented, ego,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
that was broken, and the very realistic orientation of my representation
Mm-hmm.
was thrashed.
Okay.
After coming out, I was saved by the human chain. In the fourth trial, when I tried another jump
Mm-hmm.
upward, that if that was failed, then I would have drowned.
You're talking about that Humpy thing.
Yes, Hampi thing.
Okay.
That if I were failing in that trial,
Mm-hmm.
I would have been drowned. But same moment, see, now this is we have to understand why the hand came asking me to hold it. No, that hand I remember now.
So.
That hand,
Mm-hmm.
I just clamped that hand, and there was a human child I never knew.
And people saved you.
They saved me. There was a big pull. Similar pull I experienced when I was taken out from the womb of my mother.
Okay.
Same experience. So now you will ask me, how did you remember that? It's nothing to remember actually. It is not about mind.
It's you are imagining.
It is beyond imagination, my dear.
Okay.
Which is whatever is imagined,
Mhm.
it is not the real.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whatever mind is doing
Mhm.
is not the real. It is the Brahma. It is the illusion which is being forwarded by the mind.
Okay.
The lived experience, that's why I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
abstraction has to do with the lived experience, because it's abstract. An abstract, when the abstract is happening,
Right.
how can you represent the abstract?
And that during this pandemic also you painted. You did work during the pandemic, or you just
No, I was not in a situation to paint, but I was writing, because that time I was locked down in a guest house
Okay.
in Silchar,
Okay.
where I was completing my PhD.
In Assam you were
Yes,
locked down.
I was locked down for 9 months,
Wow.
alone in that guest house. I was alone.
Totally alone, and like you are not doing the painting at that time. And
No. My priority was to
You have
complete the
completed
PhD,
your
because
Okay.
I've been given 2 years study leave
Mhm.
to complete the PhD.
Okay.
So I was very much into that. But yes, I used to get visions.
Okay. And finally, I like to end this conversation, your documentation, with A simple question like, would you like to say anything to the aspiring artists, to the students who want to be artists? Like, you can't become an artist, first thing, and you can't teach anyone to be an artist. But what kind of message you want to give to them?
Yes, I would like to tell them one thing only, that if they are wanting to become an artist, or
Uh-huh.
they are understanding that they are an artist,
Okay.
or they are, whether they are established or they are yet to be established.
Mm-hmm.
So question is not that whether you are established or not.
Right.
The question is that
Uh-huh.
how much you can, you know, uh, come to the stance
Uh-huh.
where your empiricism and your transcendentalism
Mm-hmm.
both are amalgamated in one situation,
Okay.
and you are actually challenging yourself,
True.
because every second we are dying
Right.
and every second we are born.
Mm-hmm.
When we are understanding that point
Mm-hmm.
and we are engaged into that,
Right.
no more we are quarreling for you said this, you said that,
Mm-hmm.
which is happening nowadays in political this thing.
Mm-hmm.
World has gone too retrograde.
Mm-hmm.
In this time,
Mm-hmm.
not only art students, I would appeal to every learner
Okay.
of every field, not only art,
Uh-huh.
to actually they should muster their
Mm-hmm.
energies
Right.
where actually their empiricism and transcendentalism
Mm-hmm.
are meeting,
Okay.
and they should be they're able to nurture
Okay.
that quality
Uh-huh.
in a sense of continuity,
Okay.
so much so that they two thing happens.
Mhm.
They live the moment
Uh-huh.
that is occurring in the instant,
Okay.
and also they will be leaving behind the trails of knowledge
Mm-hmm.
which are actually validated. So
It's quite a message.
all
and-
the books will be closed, I'm telling you.
Right. Right.
Books are not there to be always remembered, actually.
Absolutely.
There is a paradox here again.
Right.
People think that we have to worship the books. No. If you really read the book,
Mhm.
you will forget the book. Something like your mother asks you, tell me, dear, what happened there?
Mm-hmm.
You forget. Because it is no more in the mind. It has been digested.
Okay.
No fresh thing has come. You will talk about the present one. So it's something like that.
Okay.
So really, if you want to do something
Uh-huh.
new,
Uh-huh.
first one should be able to know that one is boring after
Mhm.
some point of time.
Mm-hmm.
Because after some moments I will be also boring to you. You know.
Right.
Then when you understand this point,
Right.
then there is a sense of revival,
Mm-hmm.
renewal.
Mm-hmm.
And that renewal is having one reason behind how that renewal is coming, because then you it is because of the shock you receive from the reality. The shock you receive from the reality is very important thing. It is not to be thrown into the dustbin. No.
Okay.
You should be able to understand and analyze that shock.
Okay.
And if you analyze that shock, you will be giving back to the world the shocking reality in aesthetics.
True. So it's quite a message, and I believe people will learn a lot of things from you. We have a discussion, we have a documentation, which is quite a challenge basically. For me, it was a challenge, and we had a great talk. And what you have shared today is absolutely golden, and people, especially the students, will be enriched by this. So thank you, sir. Thanks
you.
for your time and for your talk.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So you asked about pandemic, no?
Right.
Be it pandemic or any catastrophic moment for that matter,
Uh-huh.
and it is for everyone, not only artists.
Mm-hmm.
Every human being with intellect.
Right.
There is a point of time
Uh-huh.
when the pandemic when the pandemic ensues.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, the final output of the pandemic is catastrophe.
Okay.
The death.
Right.
But before the death, what happens?
Okay.
This state policy,
Mm-hmm.
state political policy
Mm-hmm.
or intelligence
Uh-huh.
will only talk about the the physical casualty
Mm-hmm.
and the encashing of the fear.
Right.
Okay.
True.
Whereas both of them are not important if one is scientific. Simple thing.
Mm-hmm.
Isolation. They said isolation.
Mm-hmm.
They said social distancing.
Mhm.
So what? No problem.
Mm-hmm.
Take it as a boon.
Mm-hmm.
So that isolation was not to be feared of again.
Mm-hmm.
That isolation was actually to understand the meaning of isolation, which is actually asking us to rise above the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that can happen only when you are introspecting.
Okay.
So that, how many days it was? Some one month isolation?
Isolation was for lot many years, lot many months.
Yes.
More than
in chunks
it
it was.
in chunks. It's more than 3 months, 6 months were there.
Sure, but
Yeah.
that 6 months of isolation, my dear,
Mm-hmm.
could have changed human life. But I'm so sorry to say
Right.
that 20% out of the 100 one
Mm-hmm.
could understand what is isolation.
Right.
And you asked me, na, what
Mm-hmm.
what it has changed in you.
Mm-hmm.
I am transformed.
Okay.
Simply, I am transformed
Okay.
because I had a lot of time to introspect
Okay.
and rise beyond my mind. And that is the point of time when you see yourself from outside.
Okay.
In isolation, you are able to see yourself from outside,
Okay.
which is very important.
Right. So.
Critical entrance of the thought of parareal, which became my lifelong research and which I'm writing also as parareal abstraction, which is connected with my perennial search for the reality which is hidden, and which is why I have written, I have authored the book called Odd and Occult, which is still I'm writing. Odd and Occult, the perennial diary of pararealism. So, anyway, later, it was not until I constantly, while constantly searching for what is abstraction, I used to be, very worry about reasoning what is abstraction. I couldn't get any answer. Maybe it was because nature had something in its plan for me, and I met with a lot of accidents in roadside accidents, because I was searching for the dynamic equilibrium, And this dynamic equilibrium is because uh, I had been experiencing that I have a lot of energy in me, but while doing the realistic paintings, those energies are not exhausted. And to exhaust those energies, I was searching for a process, a kind of process of dynamic meditation, to still meditation. And before it could be discovered by me, I met with a deadly accident. It was like I was drowning in water. Then, after surviving from that accident, I understood. Not understood. I was kind of revealed of abstraction. I was revealed by the fact that what is abstraction actually. And this understanding was such an overwhelming experience that it defies every definition. And that was the beginning of, a newer era in me. That after coming out from that ditch where I was drowning, I could not speak to anyone, and it was a kind of lull period for me. I was just playing one Tibetan bowl because I wanted to vacuum to actually, adjust with the life I have been born with again. So, still question remains that why doesn't it happens to everyone, and why somebody survive and other die? Shaman, as you asked about my inspirations, I have a lot of inspirations in my life. First of all, it comes from my father, who inspired me with the realistic skills, because he used to make Ganesha idols on the eve of Ganesh Chaviti. In South, we celebrate as Vinayak Chaviti. So he used to prepare clay, and and he used to make the idol. He used to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and make the idol. And I was very keen on getting up same time and observe him making the idols, the images of Ganesha, the skill with which he used to handle the clay. And maybe I got the same link with the way my senior used to, handle the clay, and which I also observed in the way the great master Ramkinkar Beys and other people used to handle the clay. So some link, So that skill was my inspiration, the realistic skill. But then, after joining Shantiniketan, I was haunted by a question that if only this skill was enough, then why the distortions? Because there only I came across the philosophical opening to the European art, where I came across with distortion and abstraction as the leading element of modernism. Then often I was stumbled by the questions that why abstraction? Maybe, as you asked about the abstraction, it was, the childhood memory about my internal turmoils an internal kind of paradox between real and modern that I had been growing with. That all together, has been driving me a kind of impetus. It was an impetus which constantly doubted myself. I mean, which constantly, forced me to doubt myself, my own skills, despite the fact that I have mastered the skills of realism before I entered Shantiniketan. So that became my curse. It's a curse to me because it never allowed me to, come out of that, strong restrictions of realism, the academic realism. So I was questioning. Of course, I was questioning myself about distortion and abstraction, but I could not break out from that. It did not happen until I met with so many accidents and roadside accidents, because I was constantly thinking about the dynamic equilibrium. I used to be a speedster. I used to ride my bike, and I was searching for the dynamic equilibrium in the dynamic disequilibrium. So somewhere there is a kind of restlessness, maybe you can say, that I used to complete my painting with I used to practice social realism before. I used to complete my painting with the figures and all those things, and realistic, of course. But end of the day, when my painting is completed, I was not satisfied. The energy, the enormous energy I could feel in me, was not exhausted. So I was searching for a mode through which my entire energy could be exhausted, during the process of painting itself. So that was my search, and I never knew that is going to be my, both understanding and my style and everything about abstraction. And even that could be a challenge I'm taking to question the stagnated definition of abstraction. Although there had never been a kind of teaching about what is abstraction in Indian academics. Anyway, it was, the question to myself, which I have been asking, convert the influence, the haunting of the influence into the inspirations. So that was a challenge for me. Somehow I managed to come out from the haunting of Van Gogh, and this was my discovery. And this is the way I went on, being disillusioned from the whatsoever influences I had been having throughout my journey. Second inspiration was from Magritte, René Magritte. His realistic surrealism was very much inspiring for me. I practiced many of my paintings based on that, because those were the time I was searching for the element in my work. And meanwhile, I came across with a radical works of Marcel Duchamp. I thoroughly studied him, and the conceptualism of Joseph Kusut, and all those which directly hitting to the intellectual strata, because Marshall Duchamp himself was against the retinal hit. He even discarded Monet's surface. So I'm again the dichotomy and paradox is continuously intact in my growth. So gradually it was not until the stance when I passed out from Shantiniketan and I came to into daily life, because when an institution is off, then you are knowing the real world. Then I started knowing actually, I started unlearning what I have learned in Shantiniketan. Gradually, the abstraction started peeping in. I mean, it started encroaching into my work, because maybe this was the critical entrance of the thought of parareal, which became my lifelong research, and which I'm writing also as parareal abstraction. I have been reading that philosopher, the postmodern philosopher, Gilles Deleuze. This is another final inspiration to me, for me. He wrote about transcendental empiricism. So I am writing on empirical transcendence after reading him. So the difference between what he wrote and I am writing is that empirical transcendental empiricism is all about going to the virtual, coming back to the real, collecting what is abstraction. Because as he said, you cannot represent until your lived experience is on, because lived experience is abstraction. You cannot at the same time represent and have a lived experience. Okay, now empirical transcendence is the scientific research of your own medium and your ideas, and you amalgamate them in a considerable alchemy and be enlightened out of it. You are also being enlightened, and the media and idea which you have mixed, you have amalgamated in such a way that none of them could be brought into their previous states. Both are transformed, and so are you transformed. Okay, this is the way the empirical transcendence is happening. So, lastly, I would like to remind that we are not here to just teach the students. We are here to enlighten in them a sense of independence, a kind of autodidacticism, the spark of autodidacticism, because self-opinionation he will not do. Teaching should not be a self-opinionated process. The teacher himself or herself has to be autodidact. Then only the proper balance will be there, because new generations are, they are dynamite. Now, we should be constantly learning from them, not that we are always teaching them. Now, that is typical colonial time mentality. I don't advocate that. it is like we, as a teacher, should be stable in the dynamic equilibrium and make maximum exploration of their dynamic disequilibrium. So this is the balance. Dynamic equilibrium and the dynamic disequilibrium. Both will go together. I would like to put forth here one of my poetry, one of my poem, that is वैसे तो एक ठहरी हुई शमा है हम किसी पीर के मजार का, वैसे तो एक ठहरी हुई शमा है हम किसी पीर के मजार का, मगर कहीं दामन न चला बैठना, क्योंकि रोज नए शोले बनाते हैं हम. Thank you so much, Somen. I must say here, I must acknowledge Somen's great efforts in making this series of videos, the venture he has taken up, the great work he has been into, and he is covering the contemporary artists of Delhi, New Delhi, and I wish him all the best, and I thank him for such a brilliant project he has undertaken, and he is bound to accomplish it. Thank you so much, Somen. Thank you all.